Then the requirements are clear, then we start sourcing. And I think that's probably one of the main important decision making for us is not so much who has the best price, is who has the best responses.
Hi, I'm Annie Ciara, your host for Bridge to Chinese Consumers. This video series brings you market insights, consumer trends, and everything connecting you to Chinese consumers. Today, we're going to be speaking on a topic a little bit different, and it's all about sourcing products from China. So I have invited my friend, Simon de Raadt, VP of Business Development at Hyper SKU. Simon is originally from Netherlands and have been living in China since 2011. Hyper SKU actually help European online sellers with their sourcing and shipping out of China needs. Simon is an experienced executive and have sourced thousands of products and visited hundreds of Chinese factories. He is an expert in this topic and has positioned himself as a industry thought leader and sought after speaker. And he's also a podcast host, and it's called China Business Cast. I am a great fan of your podcast. Simon, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Annie. It's really a pleasure.
So Simon, let's go back to 10 years ago. You were from Netherlands. Why did you choose to move to China?
I think my China dream started a little bit before 10 years ago. This was 2005. I had a stopover in Hong Kong on the way to Australia and New Zealand just to be backpacking there. And I was amazed. It was Sunday night, 10 p.m. and I just had to shovel my way on the street. It was so crowded there that I thought, this is interesting. I wanted to learn more about what's going on from a country that I've never been before, and I wanted to explore more. I like countries that don't speak English, just to challenge myself. I went in 2007, went again to China to spend 6 weeks, mainly in Shanghai, but also Beijing and Xi'an. And I realized that Shanghai is such a city full of energy that I wanted to go back there. So 2010 did that, landed a job by chance, by just getting in front of people and saying, hello, I'm here, I'm looking for a job. Do you know anyone that might be able to help me? And that got me a job. So in 2011, I was finally able to start my China dream.
And you've been in the industry for 10 years. So perhaps can you give us an overview of what you do in Hyper SKU and who is Hyper SKU?
HyperSKU is a Chinese e-commerce company, and we want to make it easier for online sellers. Mostly sellers are using Shopify. That one we serve the best at the moment. They have an online store, they're selling products, and they just need a supplier who can send directly from China to the consumer. The key development that we see with online sellers is they want to scale and they want to build a brand. You need some kind of partner or agent or someone in the middle. We're this kind of agent that helps facilitate this online seller with getting the product, bringing it to our warehouse, checking if it's the right product, if there's anything wrong, maybe combining it with a thank you note, doing some branding, and then shipping it out to the consumer wherever they are.
I would love to learn more about the process that you take on with your clients. From your side, how do you know what the product quality, the control, how do you know what they are looking for if they are from afar? Especially now with the pandemic, brands cannot travel into China. So is that a sticking point?
It is still tough to be able to guarantee a certain quality. Yeah. The thing is, in China, everything is available at every price. You can get any product for a very cheap price, but you also get very low quality. What we do see is that most of our customers, they're either a beginner or some experienced seller. For the beginner, we have to really take them through the journey because this is the first time they're going to place an order. So you have to really guide them more step by step. When it comes to a more experienced seller, they've worked with other suppliers, maybe work with agents. They know what they want to improve, and they look for us to be able to bring that extra improvement, whether it's on price or service or delivery time. That's always the discussion. But that conversation is always already more targeted just due to their experience.
China manufacturers is all about volume, the MOQs, minimum order requirements. So if you are just testing out a certain product, how does a brand work with the manufacturer?
Yeah, China is the supplier of the world. That means also that most of the products are already in stock or are available also at lower quantities. Because we're buying from suppliers in China and they're also sending to Chinese that are buying. That means they have kind of like a combined production. Just multiple small orders result into a new batch of production. Maybe I go ahead of your questions, but this is something that is really a major trend when it comes to cross-border trade is you need to fulfill the demand. It becomes more like a demand chain. So someone wants something, how fast can I get it? I want this product as soon as possible at my doorstep. Who has it? And that's a very different dynamics. And China has been used in the last few years, have been used to how to operate in this space. For a lot of non-Chinese countries, it seems a little bit weird and strange. Why would I keep stock for products that haven't sold yet?
Got it. But speaking about these products that they already have in stock, I mean, it's not bespoke then in terms of the product line.
For these is not bespoke. For low quantities, it is very hard to make that bespoke. But in general, what it comes to branding, it's either the shipping packaging, or a thank you card, or a product packaging, or a logo on the product. And sometimes that can even be a sticker of the logo. That means that you can still leverage on the existing product that is available. And it could be that many people are selling it, but just because you have put your logo on it, already it looks different and you can brand it differently. And what is unique, I think, on our customers, they are mostly Shopify seller. They don't sell on Amazon and eBay. And Amazon and eBay are search engines. You type a product and you get a result. Shopify sellers work with social media. That means it's very impulse driven. You see an ad, you click on the ad, you purchase or you don't purchase. There is not so much of price comparison. It's very much driven on getting their attention, getting them interested, and then getting the purchase.
So if I am an umbrella brand and I am sourcing, or you help me source in China, I don't need to place an X amount of order in China. Is it that it is when I get the order in, the manufacturer will produce it, or they have it in stock and then get it shipped out straight directly to the consumer? Is that how it works? I'm just trying to get my head around it.
Yeah, that's basically how it works. Basically, you are putting 50 umbrellas on your website, 50 different kinds of umbrellas. You don't know which one will be selling well. You find out that maybe 5 are selling well. These 5, you have orders. These orders will be placed to the supplier. The supplier send it to our warehouse, and from our warehouse, we send it to all your customers. That means that you already have identified which of these 5 are selling well. You can run your ads on these 5. You can maybe get rid of the others, or you will just want to have them fulfilling. And then you can just more target that and build a brand around these 5 products that have been selling, proven to be selling. And then you can decide to buy stock and put it into a warehouse, speed up the delivery time, consider more branding add-ons and those kind of things.
And do you need to commit to that 50 umbrellas from the very beginning?
No, because you just put a picture online and you run your ads and then that's it.
What are the key changes within your time over there in your industry?
The main change would be transparency. There's so much more data now available. Technically, you don't need a company like me to be able to find the products. Before that was much more difficult to be able to, if you look at the last 10 years. That's something that is, I think, would be the main change. The recent change of the last 2 years is really the shift from supply chain to demand chain. Definitely, COVID helped to be able to start that, because looking at whatever the stores are closed, but whatever was put in the stores are being planned. There's a schedule for several months. Whenever I did sourcing in China for B2B retail, it is already 6 months ahead. We're buying in spring, we're buying summer products for next year, basically. And so it's already much more planned. Now, with COVID hit, products were scheduled to be sent out for stores that were closed. And the consumers were not going there, but suddenly wanted other products. These other products were not ordered 6 months ahead. Nobody knew what these products were. that means that there was a demand and no supply. That shift has come rapidly due to COVID, but it was already there, where people want to be served more. They just want to make sure that they're getting what they want at the moment, instead of keeping on a whole, planning it all far ahead and just assuming that it will be sold.
China is the leading exporter worldwide, and since 2009, and second is the USA. In 2019, China delivered $2.641 trillion worth of goods. However, historically, there are a lot of stigma around sourcing in China, and we've all heard horror stories. People getting scammed, business getting scammed. And what is your take on this? And you've mentioned about transparency. Has the process of sourcing products in China changed?
It did change. I think there's still horror stories. That's still there. I think that's a little bit ingrained in Chinese entrepreneurship. Sometimes just trying to cut corners a little bit. And cutting corners can be devastating for the product that's being shipped. That's something that is a reality. So that really helps if you have a party on the ground in China, or someone who's checking the goods for you. And I think for that, it's really important to have that local partner that actually communicates with not just the sales manager, because when you buy a product from China, you're dealing with a sales manager, someone that actually also can visit the factory, get to see the operation, connect with the people that are doing it, or maybe even get to know the boss or the manager of the company. That will be very helpful.
And when you work with brands, how do you know that what you are providing them is the right price, or how do brands know that it is the right price for them to move ahead with the manufacturer?
That's a very good question. We cannot know all the details of each product. We do expect that the brand owner is familiar with the product they want to do. All these kind of things are requirements that we will help the brand owner to come up with, but it needs to be provided, because otherwise we lose a lot of time. Then the requirements are clear, then we start sourcing. Then we start tapping into suppliers, asking multiple suppliers for their input, their pricing, and that gives us a comparison automatically. And I think that's probably one of the main important decision-making for us, is not so much who has the best price, is who has the best responses. Who is honest,
Right.
who's in time, who gives us the attention that we need, because things are gonna go wrong. And then we need someone who's available and is transparent about what's happening. And that a few cents more or less doesn't matter anymore at that stage.
Are there certain categories that you do and do not work with?
It's not so much categories, it's more product related. So if it's liquid, or there's a lithium battery, or powder, so these three are very difficult to ship because it's considered dangerous good. And a lot of these products go by air. So you need follow more regulations and rules to be able to ship it out. Obviously, we try not to ship a product with a patent, but also branded, like global brands. I mean, China has a lot of fake products. Europe is developing into new rules about the VAT. That means every parcel will have to be custom cleared. You need not just the data from the sales, but you also need the data from the supply. For me, it's important that if we want to make a difference in the supply chain, to be able to capture the data, be transparent about the data to all players that are touching the product. So that is the logistics company, that's the airline, that's the customs, that's the last mile, that's the consumer. They all need to know what's in there and what's the value of it.
Speaking about customs and taxes, do you or the manufacturer, whoever ships the products out, are they responsible for that part, or is the end consumer responsible for that part?
And this is where the biggest change is happening this year in the European Union. I think it's already happened in the UK. Up till €22, no need to pay taxes. So that was the main real rule. That's from 1st of July, every parcel needs to be taxed. So someone has to pay. Why? And it's either the consumer or it's the store owner.
Yeah, makes sense. But certainly when you are operating an e-commerce store, you want the customers to have the seamless experience as much as possible. You always mention this word, and what is drop shipping?
Yeah, drop shipping is actually, it means that you are selling someone else's stock. Basically, you're getting an order, but you didn't purchase the stock yet. There's no financial risk. You don't have any ownership of the products. You just build a store, you sell a product, and then it's being shipped once the actual purchase has taken place. That's, I think, the main thing. And with dropshipping, you're normally not touching the parcel yourself. It's being all done, taken care of for you. It's a very common practice, but dropshipping itself in the media has a lot of negative tone, just because a lot of dropshippers see this, and online sellers see this as an easy way to get rich, and just don't really consider the product that's being shipped, just looking at the numbers. So whenever they can make a sale, it's good. And if the customer is unhappy, then close the store and go away.
Who takes care of the customer service as a brand, and you're operating your store, but you are the most furthest away from the quality control? So who is responsible for that part?
Yeah, most of the drop shippers, when I already explained it, I can mention drop shippers, and they have either they do it themselves, they reply the emails or the messages, or once they get bigger, they build a team with virtual assistants. And these virtual assistants can be allocated anywhere. These are freelancers, these are individuals that just do this work for based on hour or based on a number of replies. Then they will collect these questions to us, and then we will give them a reply, a refund, or a new product.
I always end the interview with the same question to all of my guests. What mistake have you made in your business journey that you can share with our viewers?
I think when I was a general manager in a trading company, and China is huge, so a lot of people approach you with new projects not related to what you're currently doing. But because China has a big potential in everything, it's very always interesting to give it a try. We tried a little bit too much. That meant that we had one team, in each of the team had their own projects, which was totally not related to each other. Although everything has potential, it is very important to focus. Make it very clear what your pitch is, and then also make sure that the team knows what is expected.
So don't do too much at once and focus on one thing at a time.
If you're a small company, then yes, try to, that would be my tip.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you so much for your time today. We have learned so much about drop shipping, as well as supply chains and how to source products from China. It was really a great insight, and also bringing your a decade of experience bridging Europe and the world into China. So thank you so much for your time.
Very